Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. We're just turning pedals today. No goal in mind. Just kind of endurance paced. Hey, George, how's it going? So on Twitch, we've named this the Festive 500 followers question mark. Maybe we can get Twitch up to 500 followers. Who knows? Well, we're just gonna plug along. No plans on racing. Raced yesterday. Went okay. Went all right. So how are things with you, George? "13 hours, oh my God. Yeah, this will not be a full attempt, I don't think. I mean, I might go an hour or two each day. See, that's insane. That is just insane. Good for him. I guess he doesn't have to work out for the rest of Christmas. You gotta feel that, man. Like, I mean, there's some super fit people, but it's gonna punish you. I know that one of my teammates did it before. The full whack in one go. And they just said at the end, they just didn't want to be there anymore. And then it took them a while to recover. I mean, good for them doing it one crack, but no thanks. Very nice, very nice. And I'm just starting my day, so I'm just getting up. Figured I'd ride. Figured I'd stream, chit chat with everybody. And hopefully you and your family, George, have a fantastic Christmas season. Hope dinner is awesome. I guess this is like a pre-turkey burn for me. We'll just try to sit on as many wheels. I imagine Tempest Fugits is going to be pretty packed, just because it is the 500. Nice, nice. Yeah, Trainer Road's showing me recovery day. Shocker. It switched sweet spot to endurance, so I figured I'd just jump on Zwift and slow roll it. Oh, nice lamb. Very nice. That's something you don't see across here very much. I went to a Flames game. I was invited to go, and it was catered, and they had lamb shanks, and I was like, oh, top class. Like I said, you don't see it very often here. People just don't eat them. They were all about the chicken wings, which is crazy to me. An off-cut of chicken, and people are raving about it. And you got lamb shanks. I don't know. Bad choice, if you ask me, to take the chicken wings there. So So I had a good night that night. So any racing, riding plans for the holidays here, George? Oh, nice. Nice. Sounds like a great evening. Or day. Ah, this is Christmas Eve. You're probably what? Like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, probably, is my guess. All the time zones just mess me up. Oh, you are going to do the Rapha 500. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Zone 2 base. Never a bad thing. 5 p.m. Yeah. So it's 8 hours difference. 8 hours. Ah, so supper is definitely near. Well, that's good. That's good, man. I started Trainer Road again after my little holiday off the bike. Figured I'd probably blow it this week anyways. First week and already blow it. Had a slight FTP drop over my 2.5, 3 weeks off, which was expected. Race went well yesterday. First podium in a while. So Zwift racing score will be moving up. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Excited for the flat courses coming up in zracing. More to my strengths, I guess, versus climbing. Yesterday was climbing. I think I did all right, considering. I should probably change this bike now that I realize that I'm on a climbing setup. I did so little racing lately that I am in the lower category. There you go. Yeah, I'm there as well. It's still tough, man. There is always somebody that is kind of super fast. I guess that's to be expected. Man, it takes a while to slow down. And I have the brakes turned off on this because, oh, maybe that, I don't know. I have the brakes turned off because they're on all the time. The Zwift controller that I bought, not the best, but that's what you get for buying used, and at the time, that was my only option. All right, let's switch this up for something that is designed for the flat. And then get back to her. Yeah, it's nice. I will say it's nice to be at the top of a category or near the top of a category, because the race doesn't get as hairy as fast. I mean, it still gets tough. Like I said yesterday, the two guys that finished ahead of me, they crushed it, man. Like, I was not keeping up to their sustained 5 watts a kilo. Good day, sir. Merry Christmas to you as well. Phil, appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a happy holiday. Hopefully you're all sorted for things, just getting ready like George is to get Christmas dinner and such. In a sense, I guess we're just doing a pre-burn. Let me see. I'm going to try out this goal thing on all the colors. That's what we'll do. I'm curious how this is going to look. There we go. Hey, Captain Calgary. I'm actually going to leave this popped out. This will work well, I think. It will not work. Oh, there we go. All right, enjoy that dinner, George. Take her easy. Have a good Christmas, my man. I was monkeying around with Chad. I missed some stuff there. Now a 10-mile run, park run tomorrow, Zwift. Oh, wow. And some dinner with wife in the evening. That is, it's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. I'm just going to try to find a nice little blob to coexist with here. This one might work well. Hey, thanks, Phil. Appreciate it. Thanks, my man. And we're just going to keep on rolling today our big goal is get some more followers over on Twitch. So, depending on how long it takes me to do this Festive 500 with racing and rides like today, we will see how it sort of goes. But we may just do some Twitch streaming. I'm always with the YouTube thing. It's it's always kind of, when I noodle about like this, when I'm not doing anything terribly race-wise or goal-wise, it's a question of whether you actually stream and chit-chat and all that kind of stuff, or if you just kind of suffer in silence. I ran a Rapha Coco event earlier. Freebirds took off. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's fast. The problem is like after an hour of that, I'm just going to want to take a nap. You know, I'd rather sit comfortably. I mean, even at this pace, like 3 hours for a hundy, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not a land speed record, but it's not a terrible enough slow pace. But I'll start feeling fatigue after a bit. And especially we're all off, so my wife's got the heat crank, and the heat vent is right here, like right here, and it blows. So I've got a fan, but I've got like extra heat. Normally when I'm racing, she's at work, so it's all turned off, and sometimes even have the basement door open to add like a little bit of a cooling effect from the very cold outside. I guarantee most people will not see. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Rapha events, because they're all 50K, right? I mean, I think a lot of people, they're going to pick a comfortable watt category. I mean, I'm a C, but I don't think I'd run a C event just because it's going to push me to the edge, and that's not what I want for endurance. This is true. This is true. Although, I gotta be careful with that because, to be honest, I just got my blood work back, a couple markers off, which we're gonna have to get a little more conscientious of that, I think, moving forward. But we'll see. An appointment with the doc next week, so. I go every year, get it done, and then deal with that kind of stuff moving forward. The joys of growing older, I guess. It's true though. I don't know about you, but I really get if I don't fuel well, which I'm probably not going to do here, although I do have some gels. I have a tendency to maybe overfuel a little bit or go a little crazy or think I can have too much. I'm not C, but I had a lot of friends. Oh, nice. A+, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's, I started doing it when I turned 50. So, we're going on to our 5th year of this stuff, so. It's worth getting done. If anything, it has a baseline. Just helps you see what's going on. I mean, I think most people generally healthy, when you start getting into your 50s, is just establishing things. And all my doc ever said was it's just good because you can compare year over year sort of what's going on and get things as they creep up. So it's not a bad thing. That's not a bad motto. Not a bad motto. You know, it's life, right? You just take it day by day. And generally speaking, as long as you're having more good days than bad, it's not a bad thing. I should have almost gone TT bike, but I do want the laziness of the draft at times. And just kind of sit in where I can. Get those free watts. I mean, what a difference. What a difference. 100 free watts just kind of sitting there. 100% life is precious. I only have one shot. Lost my mother-in-law. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. 90 years old. I'm sure she led a very full life, which is awesome. But sorry for your loss. My condolences to you and your family, man. It's always hard. Always hard. The only place on this map where feather doesn't even make sense. Crazy. Yeah, no worries, man. PD5. Not sure what you mean by PD5. Not up on my acronyms, obviously. Gotcha. It seems fine. I mean, I don't really notice a terrible amount of difference, to be honest. I'm not sure how big a difference it makes. I mean, a lot of times I think, to be honest, when I'm sitting in draft, I churn too hard. But both seem fine. Like, race yesterday, it felt pretty good, the race itself. So I seemed to do well with just sitting in the pack and not over accelerating through, or easy enough to hold the wheels. I mean, ultimately what I would like to see is for the racing aspect of it, if it's less drafting, that's good. I mean, maybe that's why yesterday, when I went down the grade, I sprinted over the top, and then all of a sudden, you know, I had a 6 to 8 second lead, which was kind of surprising. So maybe that played into it, I guess. I mean, a lot of the stuff really doesn't... I treat Zwift like I treat racing, in the sense that I apply the same philosophies, and I don't necessarily think that they apply. I mean, if it's less drafting and encouraging more breakaways and attacks, I'm kind of for it. And that's coming from a guy that, whether it's indoors or outdoors, will be as lazy as possible. You know, I think attack, counter-attack is a thing that in the lower cast doesn't seem to be so much of a thing. It's because of drafting and such, I never really feel the need to go over the top, which, if I'm going to blow through a group, I'm not going to slow down on the road. I'm going to keep on going, make them chase. Sometimes I feel like I should maybe do that a little more in Zwift, but it's, again, you're one person, you're not a team, so. What I would like is this, you got this little block bar here. I mean, he's holding me pretty good there. I'd like to see more of that. I would love for it that you could essentially run blocking. You know, you put your team on the front and you slow things down. If you have a break, you just sit there and block the front, make other people work, all those kind of things. I mean, that's ultimately what we all want, is it to be as true to the world as possible. You know, without the crashing and such. And I'm not taking away. I have to read your other comment. It has disappeared on this thing. I'm not taking away by the race by that comment about the drafting. No, I mean, drafting's a thing, but you can't. I mean, you can sit and be a lazy asshole like myself, and I self-admit a lazy asshole, and sit in the pack and let the pack do the work. But at certain points, like, you know, there needs to be that push. And I mean, massive blobs. I mean, even in the real world, a big group will move really fast. But I don't know. It's I find there's, and it's because I'm in a lower cat most likely, is that there's less sort of breakaways. People tend not to work together. Our little group yesterday, it worked together a bit, yes. We extended out the lead a bit, yes. There were times people were being lazy and were not pulling, myself included. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I can definitely do that. It's I have it on a timer, and I had it on messaging. I will definitely take a look into that. I've got to mess around with the stream a bit on the time off here and get some things dialed up. I mean, when it's a big chat, it seems to work well when there's a lot of posting. It does not seem to work well when there's only a couple people. It's just like the bot spams. And I'll definitely take a look at that. See what I've got it set at and adjust accordingly. There's some that I want to take out of there anyways. I mean, I think I've been meaning to take the Twitter out completely. Some of the stuff, like the subscribe and like, is great, but whatever. I think just letting people know how to use the redeem is an important one. And I think the Discord, getting people in the Discord is a big thing as well. But for the vast majority of stuff, I think I've got most of the links below anyways. Or maybe not in this one because this was a new stream per se. So yeah, it's always a work in progress, and I do appreciate the feedback. To be honest, like, the whole goal is to make things better over time. You know, try out the features like that chat target thing that just came about the other day. YouTube constantly changing stuff in the back end. My one big thing, my one big ask that I would love to see is a raid feature for YouTube, where if somebody else is streaming, and you know, be able to raid them, or at least, you know, dump somebody on somebody's channel video or something like that. Like, I would love to be able to say, like, hey, you know, Crank Green Watts had a great video this week, and dump directly from the viewership of a live stream to that video. Because, you know, I really do believe in, you know, kind of growing the community as a whole is a big thing. Let it be more organic, I feel. I want to try new stuff next year. People say, yeah, it's... I hate TTTs riding in them. I like watching them because I know what an effort that is for people. But I think it just doesn't have the grab for the YouTube audience sometimes. I know, like with the TTT, the team time trials, sometimes I stream them, sometimes I don't. I don't feel they get watched as good. But I do put them out there. I mean, the dirt team I am on is a TTT team, although we do reach the ERL, which is funny because we will win like the TTT. Last 2 seasons we've come in first in the TTTs, and then we get smashed in everything else. Great team, shitty group of riders by themselves. Cross-pollination is what people like to do, 100%. Have 108 subs. But we need to work on that. And again, it's through things like the Discord and live streams and all sorts of stuff is I definitely think there is an opportunity to help everybody grow. I mean, I feel you, man. It is difficult. I mean, I have a small audience, what I think is still a small audience, but I also remember when I had just started and how that all sort of worked, and then I started streaming Zwift. That's again, diversification of the channel, because I was mostly doing vlogs and creation content and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really I tried streaming for a long time. The computer I had didn't handle it very well, and OBS didn't handle it very well. And then that got fixed up. And then we've been slowly building stuff too. I mean, turn that off for a second. Getting that kind of built up. I know there's an update, so I have to look into that too. Like I said, I got a little bit of work to do today, I think. And that's the whole thing that I try to do. I mean, and that's why I appreciate the feedback on the Streamlabs. I'm on a Mac, and Streamlabs does kind of what I need it to do, but not quite the way I want it to do it. It leaves a lot to be desired. If I was on a PC, there is another program where you run the bot natively yourself, which I think would be a lot better. That's what Doom Guy does. And I think, that adds a different quality as well. But I'm not prepared, to make that jump as of yet. I mean, again, small audience, so I mean, I think there's better investment in resources and time that I can do before I start, investing in something to do one small thing that involves buying an entirely new computer. Yeah, Doom Guy's awesome. He's definitely helped me out in a lot of ways, with some of the in-screen stuff. Because I like poking fun at myself when I get clobbered. And just some of the technical stuff, some of the coding, he's a lot smarter than I am. I don't know. We're testing the goal thing. I mean, if we keep hitting goals, I will continue to ride hours. I mean, I got no plan for the day, other than I've got some borscht I got to eat at some point. How you doing, Santos? Welcome to the stream. Zwift is a single-threaded app anyways. There you go. Yeah, Sauce makes things a little bit different. I think part of kind of streaming in this space is you want to be a little bit different. I like the redeemables. The one problem with Streamlabs that I would like to change is that initially when I was creating them, I had them green screened. So they would be kind of like I am on this screen, and a little less blocky and less light reading. But the problem is having the points and then just having the straight redeemables and then the custom redeemables. Streamlabs will not trigger fire OBS commands, so I have to rely on Streamlabs. So I have to make GIFs and stuff. Again, you know, looking forward, we can create things. I mean, Sauce just had an update. There'll probably be some new things in there. Well, I like where this is kind of at because I think it's enough information, but it's not overwhelming information. I think there's always room for sort of improvement there as well. And I know the Ono mod for it that I rely on heavily just had an update as well. Ono, probably the best mod. That's how I get the top bar and everything. I think it's really well done. I had things set up for vertical streaming as well, and a vertical creation thing, but that was causing some issues, so we'll revisit that at some point too. I mean, 63K a day is totally doable, Santos. There we go. My wife would like to try and no longer be working being fun for her. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's I will definitely go over the setup. I should do some tutorials. I'm just kind of like I haphazardly plan some things. I mean, I vlog all season long, and the vlogs that get usually released on a Wednesday or a Thursday, ultimately those are from months ago. I think I am in July now, so I'm editing July content. At some point, I think I'm just going to have to do a huge amount of editing and sort of clean out the backlog for content. Zwift is weekly. We've started doing the recons. That's because I was kind of pushing for those animated maps to get out there, but they have not seemed to catch on. So, oh well, not a big deal. I still like them. I still think they're cool, and I'm still going to use them. See you in 7 minutes. Awesome. We're just slow rolling, Carolina Tom. She rode 100K today. Nice. Well done. Yeah, I have no idea what we're going to do distance-wise today. How long has she been riding the bike for? I mean, 100K's, that's awesome. That's a huge milestone for a lot of people. I should pay attention to my power-ups. It's the only thing being on this screen is that you don't pay attention to that stuff. Three hours. It's a good pace. It's a good pace. A sub 3 hour 100, especially in the real world, is that's a feat. Wow, man, she's really going for it. Motivated, that's awesome. Bought her a Zwift bike and oh ho ho ho. Wow. You need to adopt a kid, Phil? I like that jet black trainer. It looks nice. The Zwift bike, I think, is a really nice piece of kit. I think in terms of maintenance and not wearing out your bikes, it's a good investment. I was going to get it, but see, I have the plight of being in Canada, that until somebody stocks it here, the shipping cost, even though Wahoo distributes it here for Zwift, but the shipping cost, it just adds too much. I think it adds about 250 bones to the deal. And then you start looking at different things because, you know, that price obviously factors in. 225 FTP. Very nice. Very nice. That is good and strong. Learning to ride outside at 56 years old. Nice, nice. And that's the nice thing too, is like Zwift. I mean, the nice thing about virtual is that no matter where you are, you're going to find community, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there, so that's amazing. Good to see. Yeah. And shipping cost is something else, but it's whatever. I mean, bike shops may eventually get it in, or get it to a point where it's special order. Not sure how that's going to play out, like, because it's Zwift stuff. I know, for example, the WTRL is based here in Calgary, so the ZRL, all that kind of stuff, it's based out of here. After I bought my controllers, they started stocking them here, which is good because, again, no Canadian distribution. Logistics becomes an issue. I was going to have a friend from the States ship them up, but the shipping cost was crazy. So then I took to eBay and got a pair cheap, and it was cheap because, like, again, the braking was broken, but they do what they need to do for me, which is steer and deploy power-ups. 50 pounds shipping. Oh, what the heck? They're still charging you shipping for that. I know. I wish they would just not, I mean, I get it, shipping's an added cost for any business, but you need to integrate it in the price. The problem is like, with Wahoo stuff here, is that the price on Wahoo store is the same as it is in a bike shop. Difference is the bike shop not going to charge you shipping because you're picking it up local. I mean, I wish they would fix it so logistically they would at least absorb the shipping costs, because let's be honest, if they're selling to you direct anyways, at retail, they're making 100% of the profit versus what they're reducing to get the bike shop to purchase it and bring it in, etc. But I guess they also want a presence in bike shops, and bike shops might not be so happy if it's that direct to consumer. It is what it is. Where are we at? Yeah, we're almost an hour in. Oh. So I'm curious, Phil, have you seen the new, because you said you're A+, what do you think of the new ZRS sort of layout for January? Because that has an effect on you guys, because they're doing that two slot kind of start. And if you're 650 plus, I think it is, you've only got the option of the second time slot and then the, what is it, the elite or advanced, whatever they're calling it. Which I think is interesting with the reduced time slots. I mean, I don't know how it's going to impact racing, because I know the top guys, sometimes it's hard to get a good sized event. Whereas those fat kids, you got lots of people to play with. And again, that's interesting for us too, because I mean, ultimately everybody gets 2 slots, but I think what it means is you're going to find sort of that 60-point range at the top very competitive, and if you're not in that kind of range, it's going to probably be a little tough, I think, for you at the end of the day. But a work in progress. I mean, the one thing I have found difficult with the ZRS is I just don't know what to expect racing wise. I guess that's a little bit more like, you know, racing in the real world, in the sense that in the lower cats, like cat 4, there's a lot of guys that are super strong that are just kind of moving through, and that can take you off guard for sure. Ooh. Imagine there's a lot of people plugging away at this today. Do. And this is where we get in trouble. We get a coffee break here. We will be back in 1 sec. I 100% consider this cheating. We're almost back. All right, sorry about that, guys. Almost perfectly timed. Oh. Hey, Darrell. This is the 24th. This is Christmas Eve. But early morning. We're like 10 a.m. What day is it for you guys? Yeah, here there's still time to do some shopping. I am exactly 36.69 kilometers into it. We're just going to noodle over the next few days, I think. Gotcha. So you're an hour behind. So you're what, Pacific Standard Time? So you're like 9 o'clock right now, I think. 9 a.m., 9:13. Nice. It seems to be the order for today for a lot of people heading out for a run. It's actually warm enough here that I could have probably done this outside, but the problem is there's way too much melting of the snow going on and ice. So I'd rather just kind of do stupid stuff indoors. Awesome. Hopefully you guys have an awesome run. Hopefully you got some good time off here to enjoy as well. How long is the run going to be? 5, 10, something ridiculous? 10's ridiculous in my world, but getting passed by myself. Oh, nice. Lucky man. That is, I was just saying to Green that I like that as a concept, being single speed. So little to worry about in that regard. Nice base. I know when I get up on the Cervelo here, and I hear it creak sometimes when I'm sprinting out of the saddle, it worries me a bit. Laura says 99 minutes. So for me, that's a walk to the coffee shop, sit for 39, and then back. So I assume just no distance goal, just a time goal, which is not a bad thing. I thought about running, but I just, my knees will hate me forever. And I've been working on their strength anyways with the weight training and squats, so don't want to overdo it. So it's 170 shorter than you usually ride, Daryl, or is it longer? Like I ride 172 fives, so it would be shorter for me. I mean, some people like that shorter crank. I know there's kind of a trend towards going towards shorter cranks. But 172, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good spot, personally, but I mean, who knows? Oh, but you like 170, you like longer, eh? Interesting. Yeah, there is definitely a preference thing that becomes involved with that, for sure. Yeah, that's, I'm not sure how, I have not ridden a ride. I kind of like the idea of not having to change gears, or that being a thing. I mean, sometimes, because there is a slight difference between my wheels that I run on this bike outside and the trainer itself, the indexing is slightly different. So sometimes it doesn't, especially on the trainer, smoothly shift as smoothly. Although now that it's winter, I tend to, over time, index it to a point where it's that, and then re-index it for the wheel in the spring. But generally, I like them to have it where it works well on the wheel, and maybe the trainer a little bit off, just because, you know, it's, I'd just rather have the indexing for outside. That's where the majority of my wear and tear is going to come from anyways. So I don't know, virtual gearing, how that would feel for me. And then, as you mentioned, it's going to feel different spinning the cranks. But I mean, once you're used to something, once you get used to what it is, it's good. I mean, the wife had a Peloton for a long time. And I mean, I've ridden track bikes as well. But I miss how that thing rides, in the sense that I like that direct drive sometimes. You know, not the sprint and quit that I'm so good at doing. It's these sprints, and you got to keep that pace. And I feel that fixed drives you a little bit more too. I just set everything up the same. I'm an old man. I need things the same. I know that feeling. It's my measurements are my measurements, and all my bikes are set up in a very similar manner as they can be, like between the SL8 and the Cervelo. I mean, the ride position's a bit different. But I need certain things to feel a certain way, and that's particularly the legs. Ah, yeah. You see, and that's when the ride came out. No word of a lie. I have this conversation again, because Canada does not have the Zwift store, so we can't order controllers directly. You can through the WTRL now, different thing. But at the time, I was like, well, two birds, one stone. we'll get that. We'll have a dedicated trainer bike. And then you don't have to worry about monkeying around with things. And then we'd have the steering. But at the end of the day, that Wahoo shipping for the ride, it just kind of, it was too much. So we're just kind of waiting. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. Like I said, it's a one chain, one cog. I mean, it's what you want. You want something basic. It's there's no monkeying around. There's no gear set up, anything like that, right? It's just, and I mean, that's why track bikes and single speeds are so nice to ride in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways where it's flat. Let me qualify that. If there's big hills, track bike, no. But it's just so easy to maintain and so easy to wrench. And it just makes it, yeah, and it's cheap. It is cheap. It's makes things so much better. It's just nice to kind of get on and forget about things. You know, I know there's occasion I get frustrated with this thing, like I said, because the indexing, and I know it is off, but it's riding it within that acceptable range. Even my wife, yeah, you see, and that's a nice thing too. Like, I mean, again, we don't have the Peloton anymore, but the nice thing is Zwift ride, you have that opportunity if you've got multi-family members to utilize one bike. Although, saying that, I know it can be annoying that when you just want to jump on, like, I used to do it on occasion. I'd forget to switch because I get busy. And then my wife just wants to jump on and she's got to adjust all my adjustments on the bike. But, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, which is awesome. Wife's Peloton is mostly a clothes hanger. We got rid of ours. We sold it. It just, it's good. It's good for motivation for a lot of people. Like I said, I like having that fixed feeling. I do enjoying that. I really wanted at a time to hook that up to Zwift and race on the Peloton, but I just never did it. But we got rid of ours sort of during the height of COVID, because we got made an offer we couldn't refuse on the price of the bike, and to be honest, their ecosystem's expensive. Ooh. You know, it's I mean, I pay for Trainer Road and Zwift, and I think it's still cheaper than it is for a month of Peloton, which is ridiculous. Maybe 43 kilometers in, not bad. All right, enjoy your run. You have as much fun as possible with that. It's always good to have somebody to push you, man. It's always good to have that. Enjoy your run. Have a good holidays, man. We'll be streaming here, there, and everywhere. No real schedule. We'll catch you later, my dude. Enjoy the new Zwift ride. If we see you on, awesome stuff. Will do. Everybody here is training stuff. Boom, keep it on. Almost at 50K. 10% there. Do, do, do. Need music. That's how poorly planned these things are. Da, da. Do, 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 do. Thanks for the ride on.
Check out in no time.
Well, we'll just keep up this pace, I think, for a bit. Take a coffee break in maybe 5. Whew. sprinting through. Take a quick coffee. That is, give me 1 second. I forget the name of it. It is the Arcuck mod. So it's just kind of a, shows you what your top end is, shows you what your average has been and what your top's been for the ride. So blue's my max. I believe. Red is my current average. And then the yellow is what I'm doing currently. But specifically it is, let's see. Arcuck power bars, I believe, is what I've got it named as. So I like it. It's a nice little kind of POV. I like it for racing more than anything, just to kind of see where I'm at. You can kind of get an idea where you are fatigue-wise using it. Yeah, I think it's a nice touch. I mean, the rest of the stuff is basically Ono for sauce. I know Sauce just had an update for the beta as well. So we got to jump in there and see what's new and what we can do to tighten things up. I got a good clean setup. Thanks, man. Not my ideal for racing whiskey. Yeah, it's, I try to kind of keep it familiar to Zwift for people. I do run other stuff, like I've got a giant monitor that you guys can't see where I run a ton of stuff that I don't put on the stream, but for the stream, I think it's like there's a balance between too much information and not enough. And I think for people that are watching live streams, kind of the gap is a good one. I think the power thing is just nice for people to see. And then the rest of it is just kind of thing, you know, good. My left side changes depending on what's going on event-wise and segment-wise, and oh, thanks for that, wise bot. Oh, 100%. It's, you can have too much information for sure. I mean, I think the big thing for me is just gap and draft. draft because I just want to see if I'm sort of optimally in there. Zwift weirdly bumps you out of draft sometimes. You know, can you steer for a better position? And then just basic stuff, heart rate, watts, cadence, all those kind of things. I mean, truth of the matter is too, it's like right outside, even with a bike computer, I don't have a ton of information on there. It's enough, but like you said, you don't want too much. And to be honest, half the time outside, I'm not even looking. Speed depends. Like it's, you know, it depends on the course. I mean, it'll depend on the draft. It'll depend on how big your group is. There's so much. I mean, we're doing what, 35K? I mean, this is not a particularly hard effort. I mean, it really depends what you're doing and what your goals are too, right? I mean, if you're doing an ITT, speed and consistency will definitely be a thing. So how goes the riding? Got any big riding plans over the next couple weeks? I know a lot of people have some extra time. I'm just kind of noodling, to be honest. Just putting in some mileage. I mean, we'll inadvertently probably do the Rapha 500. I know the stream says that's what it is, but I'm never very serious about any of that. Just means a lot of zone 2, I guess, which is good. Build up that winter base. Rapha 1000. Ooh. Big pretzel and mega pretzel last weekend. Nice. Those some big rides. 1000K is a lot of K too for 7 days. I mean, it's doable for a lot of riders, 100%. I said I'm just kind of filling my days and noodling. My race focus. I do the ZRL. I do zracing every Monday. That's kind of the thing. I've just come back off of 3 weeks of no riding. Took a little holiday to Malaysia. It's just kind of self-improvement stuff. I'm a mid-C at best. I typically do 500 kilometers a week as a base, so not much more. You see, that's the thing. It's where's your base at, I guess, is kind of where it's at. I mean, I typically 250K a week is kind of my base marker. We are 5:15 Mountain Standard Time, so it's like C1 East, I think, is where we're at. So I ride with dirt, obviously, so Dirty Watts. It's a club, it's a TT club, and then I'm on the Dirty Drafters, because that's what I am, a dirty drafter. I like to sit in the draft. So yeah, like I said, my base about 250 a week. I utilize Trainer Road as sort of my training, and then a couple races outside of that, and that's kind of my week. I just kind of follow those. As a training plan, in the summer it's usually 2 century rides a week, outside of the other stuff. So just really kind of depends. But so it varies. Distance may vary. For me, it's more about the efforts than the distance per se. Oh, nice, nice. That's awesome. Captain Dirt Grit and 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I think is almost the same time slot. It's got to be. 6 PST is like 5:30 MST, which I'm at. Which is, I don't know what time out east. But usually it's a 5:30 start for us. I'll utilize that in 12 minutes. Oh, okay, yeah, we're in the C1 pens, I think. Yeah, TTT, it's me, it just depends on the week. So I switch. It's always with Dirty Watts, but I mean, there's 16 teams, 17 teams, 18. Like, I don't even know. It's a lot of teams now. So there's always chaos on Thursday. Plus, I avoid TTT like the plague sometimes. I don't know. It's pushes me to places I don't like sometimes. Which isn't a bad thing, but Just depends. Thursday's kind of that weird day in the training schedule. I feel if I go too hard, my Saturday ride, which is always a nightmare, will vary greatly. Yeah, it's not bad, I guess, 75K in. Potenza, Suprenza, Vince Crew, I'm guessing. Bossman. Bossman, who else we got? Brian Wheels, the Wheels kids. T. Pickleman. Good few number of people. There's so many teams, man, and there's so many time zones. I mean, dirt is an absolutely massive club when you really think about it. And I mean, it's grown substantially over the years. I mean, I think when I first started, there was only 6, 7 teams in our little club, but like I said, it's definitely grown substantially. So, as I'm sure most of them have. Yeah, it's. I think it's a testament to the people that run things, to all the people that dedicate so much time to making things run smooth, and hours on end organizing things and balancing teams and all that kind of stuff. I mean, huge props to everybody that does those things. It's but you're right, it's just wild how massive some of these teams have gotten. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I can see myself slowing down because I can see my icon in the distance. I stream live. I mostly did vlogs. I mostly do vlogs. I think is kind of the thing. Lots of product stuff. Ride reviews, bike reviews, gear reviews, how-tos on self-wrenching is kind of where it is. The Zwift fills a gap in the sense that something I do at least once a week. Live stream, always the zracing. Just kind of, it's kind of whatever. This is just a random stream. No real purpose to it other than chit-chatting and wishing people a happy holidays and getting some base miles, junk miles in. We sort of co-stream it to Twitch. Hey, thanks for the follow, Athlete Coast. Appreciate it. And then I'll do, sort of recons. Started doing recons for the ZRL. It's just kind of whatever. It's I just enjoy the creation process, I think is what it is. And then having that little bit of motivation sometimes just to kind of give me a push, because it's easy to not do things sometimes, to be honest. And it gets me going with a lot of good people. I mean, it's also brought some good opportunities in the past, like up until this year. YouTube definitely helped me with my contract with Specialized. And put me in contact with a lot of good team members at that time. I mean, I don't ride for Specialized anymore, but sort of expanded locally, teammates and stuff like that who, we continue to ride together. And even though that program got folded, Bradford is our YouTube streamer for the teams. Oh, cool. Very cool. I know dirt-wise, I mean, I stream Miguel Stakes and Change streams. Why Skip Do This streams. Omar Chavez, the beginner spinner, streams. There's a fair few number, so I really don't know. I don't know how long I'm riding today. It's just kind of like we're just spinning. I mean, I will probably at this juncture now hit 100K at least. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going crazy. I'm not working too hard. Today's supposed to be a recovery day. Oh, okay, so yeah, Skip's on Dirty Watts, so. And he's one of the main players there. He does a lot of the tech stuff behind the scene. Really good guy. Yeah, I used to ride for Specialized. I was under contract until the beginning of this year, and they decided that they were going to shut down the program. So myself, Mitch on Two Wheels, Way Past Fast, who else was on there? What was his name? But there was a good chunk of us. We all got, we didn't get our contracts renewed, but that's how those things work. It's just kind of, that's biking. I mean, it's, I came from mountain biking after a bad accident to road. So, I've not been the same since, to be honest. But we're spinning. It's good. Ah, nice. Yeah, this is just me just kind of getting up, jumping on the bike. All I've had this morning is a coffee and spinning it out. So I'm going to use my coffee right here in 39 seconds. Fill a bottle, That's kind of what happened with me. I'm just going to fill a bottle and I'll be right back. Hey, bud. Hey, buddy. Just filling the bottle, bud. All right. Got the bottle filled. Got another bottle. No, I know the feeling. I had a bad mountain bike crash and that kind of ended it for me. So my days of riding big mountain, you know, going every October to Rampage and all those kind of things, that's something that's a much more youthful version of myself would do. So I feel you, man. I definitely feel you in that category. Raced ladder last night, legs are toasty. I raced the RL yesterday. Too much climbing for my liking. Big guy like me just likes flat courses. But felt like I did all right. See, good thing I filled that bottle. Rising Empire in New York. Whoa. Yeah, New York's a bit of a tough course. That's for sure. That climb on the glass is something else in New York. How'd the race go overall? And are you streaming Turan? Are you doing the stream thing on YouTube? You doing the Zwift channel as well? It's true. I'm a puncher. Helps me to separate my raw watts. On FTP is my weakness. I feel that I don't even know if I have the watts to call myself a puncher. More a sprint type, which in terms of Zwift racing score really hurts me because it seems to move me up into categories I just can't hold, especially if there's climbs. But, you know, when you start sprinting, you know, for 30 seconds and throwing down big watts, I think it unbalances your score a bit. Although they seem to have corrected that a bit in the last update. Fair enough, fair enough. So you're not publishing anything to YouTube at all? Like, I know guys like to also record their racing and publish after the fact, which is good as well. We won first, third, fourth, fifth. Oh, nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. Got to be happy with that. Now I've struggled a bit for the last little bit with the new Zwift racing score. Just haven't been quite, you know, figuring out where I am. We've been tickling the podium the last few weeks since I got back. I'm just starting to feel back in sorts after. The problem was I was at sea level for 3 weeks and I live at elevation, so I really felt it for definitely the first week. Not good. Second week, still not great, but better. This week I feel a lot more back in sorts. Yeah, strong points racing or crit racing. It's something that I can, I'm given time to recover. You know, you can put a strong effort in, gain a few seconds, then start recovering, and then find myself get absorbed back by the group and do it all over again. It's repeatability. So, but you know, ZRL is not that. It is that is something else. It is. I race C1 there, so like I said, I get punished a little bit. But it's all good. It all makes us better. And I mean, doing this Zone 2 work this week is probably not bad for expanding the base anyways. You know, the broader the base, the better. For repeated efforts, yeah. I've got my training plan set for gravel. My A event being Canadian Gravel Nationals. That doesn't mean I'm going to race it necessarily, because I will say this about being outside, I am a fair weather rider. So if it's muddy, rainy, stormy, windy, it's a forget about it for me. Nice thing about Gravel Nationals is it's age bracketed, so I race people my own age, so I still get stomped, but it's, when you're with the 55 plus group, it's not a bad thing. Last year, I didn't race because of the rain, because like I said, I'm a fair weather rider. I had 11 friends that raced it, and one finished. Everybody else were crashes, DNFs. It's just, the mud was so bad. My A races fall ZRL. Nice. That's a good series. ZRL is a great series overall. I mean, I always find it amusing. I live in Calgary, and it's based out of Calgary, so it's kind of funny. But lots of people, ZRL is definitely their bread and butter race, kind of what they're aiming for. And if you can position yourself to be at the top of your category, it's a pretty good feeling to win those races. This last season, I did okay at the beginning, but like I said, I had 2-3 weeks off in the middle. And then when I came back, it was just like, that was not cool. I am glad to have picked up the sprint points that I did early on. And we did well with the TTT. Being on a TTT team that also does ZRL makes a big difference. Like the last 2 seasons, the team time trial, we've pulled first in our division, which is nice. And then we get smashed otherwise. Crashing is no longer an option. I have to work still, and the training is what I enjoy rather than the racing. Oh yeah, no, it's, hey, everybody's got a job to do in a race and a team, for sure. And to be honest, like, not crashing is a nice thing. It's why I'm a fair weather rider. Like Gravel Nationals, they're, for 2 years in a row, they're just outside the city here, which makes it accessible. And I know the course well, and I know that there are a couple sections that are bad for people. Number one, for speed, because you can really crank up the speed, but just the terrain too gets a little dicey. I mean, even before we had the thunderstorm this year, I was like, well, my goal is to make it to this section and make it through alive. It's just kind of crazy how those things play about. Yeah, we almost took first last round as grit. Lost first round TT in the last round. Lost us in the last round. Oh, that's too bad, man. Yeah, it's the whole points racing and scratch racing and the way they do things. I think it makes for a very interesting series. I will like to hopefully see steering added to it shortly. I know that controllers are a thing for Canadians. They're difficult to get, but these guys at WTRL brought them in, so that's good. So I think now that they're accessible, you will see it in the future. I haven't seen anything. I saw that they were working on the page for season 3, but nothing route-wise yet. When I last looked, I'll be interested to see what they have in terms of races and schedule for the next round. Should be interesting to say the least. DRS for fun. I know a few guys that have also done, what is it, FRS? The big one, a little nutty that one, but I do like it for FRR. But that's a big commitment. Yeah. We are registered as well. Always like to know what's kind of coming. Helps for doing the recon vids as well. FRR is too much. I haven't done it. Miguel did it this last go round. It made him super strong though. He definitely got a boost in his FTP and a lot of his power from that. But it's a big commitment to those races. A lot of fatigue overall too. I like a little bit more control of what I'm doing. You know, like I said, I have my base of 250, but if I go much higher sometimes, it depends. It just depends how we feel. In races, a lot of times you feel like you're committed. Like I did the Hout route, what was it, 3-4 years ago now? And the first day almost killed me. And the second day, I really didn't want to ride. I was hurting pretty bad. Made it through. Third day, I was a little bit better off. And then fourth day, I was okay, but man, it's like, those are choices I would not have made had I not been in the event. And absolutely brutal. Because it's all climbing, so not my forte. But I live close to the mountains, so I mean, I should be better at climbing than I am. Ragbri. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh. Got a bit of a cramp there. Oh, that's awesome. Now that sounds like fun. Now, what is 7-day ride across Iowa? So, what are we at, like 700, 800, 900,000? Like, what is that distance? Like, how far is that? That's kind of cool that they shut everything down as well. And I'm unfamiliar with the geography of Iowa. Fairly flat state? Or is it pretty lumpy? And what are you riding surface-wise? I assume mostly roads? Or is there gravel? I have so many questions. Maybe I have seen a video on that before. Is there a lot of like camping slash like there's people that do it seriously, and then there's like a group of people that do it like on tandems and stuff like that. 100 miles a day extra with gravel, about 25 hours total. That's a good ride. Oh wow. Oh, it changes every year. That's kind of cool. I imagine if that's been going on for that long and that big an event, it's probably quite the event. I assume that you stop in local townships or cities, and it's probably a big deal at most of those stops. It's kind of cool. It seems like a lot of the events that are in the States are a massive deal for a lot of these places. Yes, we're completely self-supported, carried all of my gear, 25 pounds. Ooh, party on wheels. That's good. That's a decent pace then. Yeah, it seems like, looking at events like Unbound, Leadville, all those kind of things, like there's some pretty big races in the States, and they're pretty well embraced. I was supposed to do Unbound last year, but I got a late entry, and unfortunately, like so late that getting any kind of accommodation near there, it was expensive. So we didn't do it, and plus we didn't have. My contract was specialized at that point. That's when sort of that all happened, the unsigning. So I didn't have a support team to go with, or teammates for that matter, because it all just kind of like fell apart. I don't know if you ever watch Twitch, Pookie Butt. He's on YouTube as well. It's unfortunate because he offered up assistance had I known, because it was so last minute. I would have probably done it, but it's really cool. Those have gotten out of control. They look massive, man. It's good overall, I think, for the sport in North America. I mean, the culture here is much different than in Europe, especially racing-wise. It's kind of cool that they've embraced that, but I think you're going to see more world teams coming and targeting these races. which is going to make it different. I mean, it's already happening, to be honest. You know, it's good for the sport as a whole, because I think there was a lot of damage done to cycling in the U.S. in the 90s, unfortunately. But that's just how it kind of is. I think it's good to have a more, with gravel, having more of a grassrootsy kind of feel to it is a better thing. I mean, there's still a ton of open participation in the sense that, you know, casual riders are now riding among pros, so it's still a feel-good event. But I mean, it's you already see it with Unbound. You know, it was you put your name in for a lottery. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. They had their thing if you were part of, I can't remember the name of the fitness group that now runs it, like Ultimate or something like that. You kind of jump the queue, but we don't have those fitness centers here, and I'm not a member, so it does me no good. But they are getting so massively big, which is good too, because it means that there's a lot of other events that kind of grow from that as well. And you've got the series, you know, that includes Unbound and Leadville and stuff, and those will just continue to expand. And then you've got, I think Pookie sent me something. There was a race that I could have done to pre-qualify for Unbound this year. Again, I didn't do it. It's racing gets expensive when you start doing those things, and there's no guarantees, especially with gravel, especially with weather. You know, you can go do an event, and if you place in the top, I can't remember what it is, percentage, you get a free ticket, but there's no guarantee for that either. Gravel's unpredictable, but it's fun. As close as I'll get back to mountain biking. And there go my icons. Oh, stretch, stretch. I guess we're approaching that 100K mark. So Nathis, I use Sauce API to do it, and then customize it using a couple mods. And that's how I get this set up. So it's just modified for some stuff that I think is cooler looking for racing, as well as implementing some important information like draft, and then just some other tidbits I think that are interesting, like the group spacing, distance between groups, which is definitely good for racing. And then kind of like where you're sitting power-wise, average and top and all that kind of stuff. If you're catching up, I best not teleport. It's PC. I'm on a Mac. So if you're using Apple TV, it's a no-go. If you're using a phone for Zwift or an iPad, it's a no-go. Appreciate it. We keep on working on it, tweaking things and making it a little visually better here and there. Better information. I'm gonna, what's his name? Teleport. We're gonna go to whoever's 3.7. Is that Jacques? See, I'm just gonna take a coffee break here for a second. Stretch out this leg a bit because, like I said, it's a little tight. But yeah, I'll probably fall off the end of whoever this is, pacer bot wise, pretty quick. It's an easy way to get there. You just teleport there, and then I'll go back to doing 150 odd watts. As we go through another bottle. Ah, nice. That's a nice dirt jersey you got there in your profile pic. All right, I've fallen off the back because I'm not paying attention. Ah. Let's start moving again. I'm about 5 seconds behind you. I guess the easy way to do it is just teleport back up there. And then just roll off the back slowly. Saw you there for a second, but I've lost you now. Oh, there you are. Now you're 6 seconds behind. I'll just ease up, which is good. There you are. The Mert jersey. It's a nice jersey. We did all right. You know, I'm not going to complain. A sub 3 100. Not really sticking to any pace or group. Yeah, my cadence definitely low. Definitely grinding. Yeah, that's impressive. Doing 500 in one crack, man, it's an achievement. I mean, I definitely won't be doing that, but you know, even taking a 100K chunk out today, I think is a good start. Ugh. I did not Everest this year, so I took this year off. My my climbing number is not so good. And I agree, it's a brutal ride. I usually do one Everest every year, and this year I just wasn't feeling it. We were waiting for, we've got the Longview Highway here. To kind of clear up. It's the highest paved road in Alberta. I think it goes to 2,200 and some meters. And the road opened before the snow cleared. Usually we get a week or two of basically car-free climbing on that road, so that's usually when we get it done, but not this year. I say I'm not going to do it every year, and then I do it, with the exception of this year. And I'm not a climber. I do it out of sheer willpower. Nine hours, eh? Yeah, it's torture. It is torture. It's a long, arduous thing, and I mean, like I said, we're lucky we got a big climb that we can do, but I tell you, it's not, I don't miss not doing it. It's for me, it's about doing things that I suck at, really, to be honest. And I suck at climbing. Thing is, if you surround yourself around like-minded, stupid people, you do stupid things more. Because, to be honest, you don't want to be left out. And I think it was the wind more than anything else on the weekend before the road opened that kind of dissuaded us, the group. Tiny races I do okay. Tiny races are tough. I don't care who you are. It's big power numbers. And you go through your ebbs and flows in that too. It really depends on the courses. Yeah, power to weight is definitely a thing. Being a bigger guy, climbing sucks. Gravity sucks. It's great coming down though. But flat road is a different thing. Ugh. I'm moving coffee break to coffee break now. Thanks for the follow. It's an atheist. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to start easing off the pace and cooling off a bit. I appreciate the pull, man. Done all right, 110K plus whatever we've done. Definitely having you pulling for 16K or so definitely helped improve that. Appreciate it, Torin. Nice meeting you as well, my dude. Appreciate it. Like I said, we're just gonna kind of slowly roll this down. Use our last coffee break in 10 minutes. And then I think call it a sesh. Should be at a nice, probably 120K there, which is a decent start. Here goes myself as a pacer bot. Oh. I don't even know if I'm going to make it that 8 minutes. Definitely earned turkey dinner today. Almost there. Stretch out those calves. No plans to jump to B. It's just more building a good solid base. If the power comes, so be it. I just want more consistent, predictable kind of riding more than anything else. With the new ZRS, I mean, I get smashed by the bees. Flat courses, sometimes I get lucky, but me, it's riding smart, I guess. I mean, like anybody, I'll take any power increase that comes my way. There's no doubt about it. If my FTP goes up, great. You know, a 20-minute power up, great. All those kind of things, great. We'll take it. I mean, we're actively, like I said, training plan revolves around a 160 kilometer gravel race. That's kind of where our focus is for power over that period. And we'll take it from there. I mean, the training plan should direct us in a way that hopefully it'll go up. I mean, we'll see. Maybe we'll run CX this year. Maybe we won't. I find it's just, it's chase. I always jokingly say, if you watch the race streams, like, let's just chill for the first little bit and then go from there. But there is no chill in Zwift, which is kind of a weird thing, but that's how it all kind of works, I guess. All right. On the Twitch side of things, we're going to see if we can find somebody to raid. Looks like Hard Claws is live, so we shall raid him. So if you're over on Twitch, appreciate it. "30, 45 minutes are different than your A race. His ZRL is a smash fest. 100%. 100%. We already have a raid in progress. Okay, so we'll raid now. So if you're over on Twitch, we're raiding Hard Claws. Say hello. But Torin, I am out for the day. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you towing me around for a bit. I'm sure we will chat again soon. If you haven't done so, please subscribe, smash like, all that kind of good stuff. We'll catch you guys probably tomorrow. See you later.